Hello guys, welcome. So in this video is something different. I've never tried making these kind of videos before, and so this video is about I'll be answering some questions which I have been asked by my friends, by online LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever. So, or even by my school friends or whatever, or even by my relatives, not just friends, my relatives, my the people I know. So I've been asked a lot of questions. Today I will answer some of them which I find to be meaningful, only those which I find to be meaningful. So there are, I guess, 10 to 12 questions here. So this video is nothing important. So if you are only if you're interested, at least one or two people are interested in knowing the answer. So this video is only for them. Otherwise, you don't need to watch this video. I don't want views. Obviously, I want views, but I cannot force you to watch this video because this you are going to learn nothing new from this video. It's just my personal choices. So if you're interested, stay. Otherwise, you can just clear off. So first question is that, see, would I keep metaphysics above physics? This question I have to face this question many times. So I claim to be a physics aspirant. I claim to be interested in physics, and I want to pursue physics in the future. That's true. That's true. So, but at the same time, I set much store by metaphysics. I write a lot of metaphysical articles. I'm interested in metaphysics. I read a lot of metaphysical stuff and these things. So the hardcore physics aspirants usually they don't give much importance to metaphysics, and that's a valid reason also, because metaphysics, you cannot verify metaphysics experimentally. Can you verify metaphysics experimentally? No, you cannot. So you cannot verify metaphysics experimentally, then metaphysics cannot make our lives easier, cannot make our lives convenient, cannot give rise to new devices, new innovations, new technologies, nothing. Physics can. So apart from, see, I mainly want to understand the fundamental nature of reality. I want to understand the fundamental nature of reality. And I believe physics can do a better job than metaphysics in helping us understand the fundamental nature of reality, because physics is science, it's verifiable and everything. And metaphysics is only speculation. So would I keep metaphysics above physics? The answer is never. Never shall I keep metaphysics above physics. I do love metaphysics because I find it very much satisfying and like a break from physics. Like thinking about metaphysics, thinking some deep questions from a philosophical perspective, metaphysical perspective. I find it very interesting. Like I find it, so you know what I mean. So I love metaphysics. I definitely love metaphysics, but I will not keep metaphysics above physics. I hope your question is answered. Never. I will remain loyal to physics because physics is most important to me, not metaphysics. But I do love metaphysics. You can consider it as a side interest or hobby of mine, whatever. Next question: what is my favorite song? Which song inspired me to start my journey into the world of music? So the answer is already written here. So see, for those of you who do not know, I recently started writing songs and producing music, and I have collaborated with a lot of vocalists and released original songs. So you can go listen to them, to the songs, on my official artist channel, Arpan Amplified. Okay, so it's Arpan Amplified. You can just search for Arpan Amplified on Google or on Spotify, on YouTube Music, on YouTube, on anywhere. You'll get it. So I recently started with music, and after I started with music, I've been asked this question: what is my favorite song? So see, I my favorite artists are Alan Walker, Marshmello, and these Imagine Dragons. Some of the Imagine Dragons songs I like: K391, Kashmir, RX. These artists I like. Even some songs by Kaino, that Unbreakable. Those songs I love very much. So my favorite artist, if you say, is Alan Walker. Perhaps Alan Walker or Marshmello. And what is my favorite song? If you ask me, the answer would be Paradise by Alan Walker, K391, and Boy in Space. I don't know if you have listened to the song or not. It's a very famous song, and it was released recently, like 4 months ago. So why do I love this song? Because let's see. Just look at the lyrics. The lyrics are so beautifully written, and if you can check out the music video, if you can go listen to the music on Spotify or something, it's a very beautifully produced track. It's a beautiful vocals. It has beautiful vocals by Boy in Space. And the lyrics, I will not analyze the song here obviously, but let me just show you this thing. This paragraph, it's very much relatable. Everybody of us, for everybody of us. Thought about it for a while now, questioned everything up in your life now. Maybe you should let it ride out and everything will come around. Yeah. So in all of our lives, there come a time when a series of bad events they happen one after the other. This is true for most of us. I can relate with it. It happened with me also. I'm no exception. It happened with me also. So nobody of us are perfect, and in everybody of us, when the bad things start happening, they happen sort of one after the other. And so after they're over, like after this phase of life is over, we think about that for a while, thought about it for a while now, questioned everything up in your life now. We question everything up. We suffer from existential crisis. Why it's only me? Why am I suffering? Why should I only suffer? It seems that it's only me, but it's actually not only me. Everybody of us is suffering. So I'm not alone in this. Maybe you should let it ride out. Give it some time. Time is the greatest medicine. Give it some time and everything will come around. So these four lines really relatable, and I mainly like these four lines are my favorite lines from the song. And you would like the overall song only, not just these four lines. I like the song very much. But if you would ask me which song inspired me to start my journey into the world of music, that would be Different World by Alan Walker, K391, Corsac, Sophia Carson. I don't remember all the person. So Different World is a very, very practical song. It's a song about the climate change, about how we are destroying our world. And it's a very good song. It's lyric wise, music wise, it's a very good song. So Different World is the first song which I seriously listened to. Like I was not a big fan of music anyway. Maybe of instrumental music I was a fan, but I was not a big fan of listening to songs. But a friend of mine suggested me to listen to Different World. Like I just casually asked him what is his favorite song and he sent me Different World. I thought okay, maybe I can give it a listen, so that won't hurt. So slowly I started to realize how good the song was, and I started to love the song, and then I started exploring Alan Walker, and then it sort of happened. So which song inspired me to start my journey is Different World, but what is my favorite song right now? I would say Paradise. Next, do I believe in nihilism? This question is somewhat but I still find it to be meaningful. That otherwise I would not have included it. I had actually made a list of some, some 25 to 30 questions which I have been asked. So some of the questions were really meaningless, and so doesn't matter actually. So I thought not of answering that. That would just be time waste, right? But these few questions are really interesting, and I had to think a lot to come up with the answers. So I hope this can be insightful to you if you're interested. So what is nihilism to start with? Nihilism is let's go search Google for nihilism. Let's see what Google says. Sorry, just a second. Sorry, my system is, yeah, nihilism. A viewpoint that traditional values and beliefs are unfounded and that existence is senseless and useless. So nihilism is somewhat an existential crisis. It's somewhat similar to an existential crisis. And if you would ask me, see, nihilism is a philosophy of our family of views within philosophy that rejects general or fundamental aspects of human existence, such as objective truth, knowledge, morality, values, or meaning. So do I believe in nihilism? The answer would be no. But I really, unconsciously, subconsciously, I want to believe in nihilism. I find attracted, but that is maybe my nature, my human nature. I find myself attracted toward nihilism, and I find myself wanting to believe in nihilism and these things. But if I ask myself honestly, do I believe in nihilism? I guess the answer would be no. Sometimes I do believe. Sometimes I think that everything is meaningless. Sometimes I suffer from existential crisis. But in the first place, I do not expect everything to have meaning. I don't expect life to have meaning. So when I'm not expecting any meaning, so the fact that life is meaningless should not come as a surprise to me. So I hope your question is answered. And I'm not too much rigid about topics like nihilism, because these things, these are really deep topics, and we are not in a position to answer yet whether nihilism is true or false. So I like to believe, sometimes I believe, sometimes I don't, most times I don't. So that's it. Do I believe in God? Again, see, God, we are not in a position to answer, because we have not yet reached that stage when we can answer, like where we can make some meaningful answer to the question, does God exist or not. See, my belief is immaterial. Whether I believe in God or I do not believe in God, that will not make any difference. Fundamentally, we cannot answer the question. We are not yet in that position to answer the question. So the way I look at consciousness, I believe something conscious to be behind the scenes, to be working behind the universe, making it function. So you can say I believe in God in that sense. But when I say something conscious, I don't mean conscious in the way you might be thinking. I don't mean like conscious in the way humans are conscious, not that kind of consciousness. So I have a theory of consciousness. I cannot discuss that here, obviously. So, but yeah, I mean, God is just the order in the chaos. God is the, by God I mean the, the fundamental rules according to which the universe is functioning. The order in the chaos. There is some order in the chaos, right? There is some sort of order in the chaos, in the apparent chaos. So by that I mean God. So I do not believe in God as most people would see it, but I believe in some types of God. That is true. Cannot deny that. Next, do I think the world is going to end? Yeah. I don't understand why you're asking me this question, because I am no one, like I'm not a, but still I don't know why I included this question. Maybe I should just skip this question. But yeah, I don't think the world is going to end anytime soon, because let me just tell it in short. If there is a asteroid hitting us, or a gamma ray burst or something like that, like something instantaneous and something with a large scale destruction effect, something cosmic event, then obviously the world can be destroyed. But otherwise, due to our actions, this climate change and everything, pollution, due to our actions, I don't think the world is going to end anytime soon, because it's like the Gaia hypothesis. Have you heard of the Gaia hypothesis? You can go check it out. It's called, sorry about that, it's called Gaia hypothesis. It was an idea proposed by James Lovelock. Now, there are some problems with this hypothesis. I'm not saying that I'm a diehard follower of this hypothesis. I don't believe in it, but I believe in somewhat. I believe in somewhat. I believe in it somewhat, but I don't believe all the aspects of it. So, see, basically, people have been speculating the end of the world from a long time. This is what my father says. He says that, like, we have been thinking the world is going to end. We have reached the limits and we are heading for the apocalypse. We have been thinking this for a lot of days, but we have somehow survived, because it's a self-sustaining system. According to me, this is my personal belief. It is a self-sustaining system. It is built that way. It is not built to end soon. So I don't think the world is going to end anytime soon, except if it's a cosmic accident or something like that. In that case, obviously, the world will be ending. Otherwise, I don't think. Do I think technology is improving lives? This question, I think I can relate, because recently in my LinkedIn and I claimed that internet has made education almost free. I claimed something similar to that. I don't remember myself, so don't take my words too seriously, but I claimed something like that. I claimed something like internet has made almost education almost free, so the college you're going to doesn't matter that much. Of course it matters, but it doesn't matter to that extent in today's world. So after that, a lot of people asked me the question. This question I was asked: what are my future plans? What are my future plans? Which college do I want to get into? And some people also asked me this question: do I think technology is improving lives? So definitely yes, technology is improving lives. You cannot deny that internet has made education almost free. Every information is just one click away. You cannot deny that. Whatever you say that are the downs of technology, but you cannot deny that technology is actually improving lives. See, there are some problems obviously, but I want to say that the nature of problems has changed. But problems were present even in the early days, and problems are present today. There is nothing surprising about that. Even in the early days, you see, in the early days, problems are present, right? But at that time, the nature of the problem was different. At that time, the problem was maybe some jungle fires or something like that. Today the problem is hacking, phishing, some technology related problem. So the nature of problem has changed, but problems remain, and problems will remain always. No matter how much technology improves, problems will remain. So that we cannot hold that against technology. Technology has improved lives also. We cannot deny that. But at the same time, we are being dependent too much on technology. We are being so much dependent on technology that, and see, these big tech companies, Google, Microsoft, they are almost running the world. So there are problems which, and there are some concerns I have about our future if this is going on, because basically they're running the world, right? And big businesses, even the COVID, I don't want to talk about that here because that's a very sensitive topic, and some of you know what I'm hinting at, but I guess I'll leave it at that. Next, let us be done with this question also. What are my future plans? So the answer is that I will not tell it to you because this video can be watched by anyone and everyone, so I cannot share it with you right now. But I can only say this much, that I am not planning anything big, and I personally believe that, like, I'm not planning anything, like any going abroad or something like that. I'm not planning that. I may I may, like, at one point of time I wanted, and even if I try, I may be able to do that. But I don't want right now. I'm not saying I'm praising India. I'm proud of India. Never. But still, I just want to stay in India at the moment, and I believe that the technology has improved lives. Internet has made all the information almost free, and if you really want to research with the help of the internet and with the help of minimum equipments, I guess you can do that. So you don't always need to go to the big colleges and things to get things done. That's my personal take on the matter. So that's my future plans. Nothing is decided yet, but I'm not planning anything big. Do I believe we are going to find a theory of everything? So for those of you, by the way, when you asked me the question that, okay, yeah, do I believe in nihilism? So there's a this from a YouTube video, I got the reference to this site. You can see this. Dear human, you are a tiny speck dwarfed by even the tiniest objects in the heavens. Sincerely, the universe. Well, that's sad. Dear human, your slightest actions can cause chain reactions that propagate forward, eventually reaching all of space and time. Sincerely, chaos theory. That's good. Just understand how the comics is progressing. Dear human, your actions are merely the result of your chemical structure at a given time. Sincerely, causality. That's sad. Dear human, causality is lying, also not lying. Also a superposition of lying and not lying. Sincerely, quantum mechanics. Okay, we're confused at this point, obviously. Dear human, we have invented lots of neat things to distract you from the void of meaning that is existence. So existence is meaningless. That's what they're trying to say. Sincerely, art. Dear human, existence is void of meaning. Sincerely, postmodernism. I'm gonna end it all. Dear human, no, you aren't programmed to. Sincerely, evolution. Okay, then I will descend into hedonism. Dear human, you cannot afford it. Sincerely, economics. So it's a very deep comics, actually. I like it. Dear reality, I'm creating a new simulated reality where I'm in charge and everything works the way I like. Dear human, welcome to the club. Sincerely, God. Now, did you get the last point? Did you get the last point? I'm creating a new simulated reality where I'm in charge and everything works the way I like. So God is welcoming us to the club. That means God has created the reality in which He does whatever He wants, and we are just the puppets in His hands. This is one way to look at the reality. I don't believe in this. I don't fully believe in this, but it's a nice take on the matter. It's a, and this comics, it's a really deep one. I wanted to show this to you because I wanted to show this when I was answering the question, do I believe in nihilism? But I forgot about that from that point at that point. So I'm sorry, but anyway, here it is. Next is, do I believe we're going to find the theory of everything? You see, this question I've actually answered on my website. If you go check out my website arpanday.net, you can go to the blogs section. So here you can find all my blogs about physics, metaphysics, music, and personal blogs. So let's go to physics and a question that has been bothering me lately. So you can read this blog if you like. You can, if you have the time. So this blog is mainly about a theory of everything. You see, a theory of everything, string theory and loop quantum gravity. I have just discussed the journey of physics and string theory. The best candidate we have for a theory of everything is perhaps string theory. So about string theory and loop quantum gravity. So see, I will not be discussing those theories here because I have done that in previous videos, but I will be answering in short whether I believe we are going to find a theory of everything or not. See, it depends. What do we mean by theory of everything in the first place? If we mean that a theory of everything is like, see, in the end, I would like to say that some people believe that once we find a theory of everything, physics would come to an end. Of course not. We have just started unraveling the mysteries of the universe, and there are more surprises in store for us. If you would ask me whether I believe we are going to find the theory of everything, I would say maybe yes, in the course of time. String theory and loop quantum gravity are promising approaches, and eventually I believe we would either discover the final theory, or at least we will discover the incompleteness of our current understanding of the world. We will definitely discover something. We will definitely discover something. So I have this gut feeling that near future discoveries in physics will be changing the way we see the world. A final theory is definitely possible. But the most important thing, we don't understand the problems well enough yet, so it is not possible to comment on how far away the solution is. So my one word answer would be I don't know. And my personal belief, if you say, I believe, yeah, I believe yes, we're going to find a theory of everything, but I don't know how, after how many years, and that doesn't matter, right? My belief doesn't matter. We have to perceive this. We have to realize that we don't understand the problems well enough yet, so it is not possible for us to comment on how far away the solution is. So that's my answer to this question. Yeah, these questions are personal questions, so nothing important. Like the theory of everything was an important question. It was not a personal question. It was an important question. But still, I decided to keep these questions. I'll be answering them. Don't worry. So, which books changed my life? Okay. So, in a previous YouTube video, I showed you some popular science books which I have read, and some books I recommend. So, all of those books, it directly or indirectly changed my life. So, there is no single book that changed my life. I've always been a book lover. I've read many books, and they have all changed my life in some way or the other. But if you say which books changed my life, since here it's books, so two names come to my mind. Two names come to my mind at this point. I'm writing them down. Reignited by APJ Abdul Kalam and Srijan Singh. So this book, see, it's not a book on a specific topic, and this book I read when I was very young, like when I was in class 7th or something, like not even 7th, class 6th or something. So this book I read when I was very young. So this book is not a very good book if you are of my age currently. It's not a very enlightening book, but at that age I found it to be very enlightening. And this book actually turned my interests to neuroscience. I started wondering about our consciousness, about neuroscience by reading this book. So this book acted as a turning point in my life, which is why I am saying it's a book that changed my life. Next, after that, The Future of the Mind by Michio Kaku. So this book first brought to my notice that maybe physics can explain consciousness. I started exploring consciousness before I started on physics. My goal was to become a neuroscientist and research consciousness, and that this book is responsible for that, mainly this book. But after I read this, The Future of the Mind by Michio Kaku is a physicist, so he deals with the problem of consciousness from a physics perspective in this book. It's a very great book. The Future of the Mind, believe me, it's just a beautiful book. You can go read it if you have not read it. I highly recommend the book to anyone. It's not just for consciousness lovers or physics lovers. I recommend the book to anyone. So after reading The Future of the Mind by Michio Kaku, I started exploring consciousness from a physics perspective, and I started exploring physics also. I started exploring physics as a subject also. So these two books I would say changed my life. But yeah, again, many books changed my life, so I cannot name a few here. But these two books perhaps impacted me mostly greatly. What is my personal type? Now, see, I don't see the point of asking these kind of questions because I don't believe that any sort of personality type, like for instance, let us take the most famous MBTI type. So I don't believe that MBTI can incorporate the complexities of the human mind. MBTI can describe a human completely. Completely to leave completely. MBTI cannot even describe a human slightly. So there are just four parameters and based on that you cannot judge a person. A person is a dynamic complex system of many things. He's a dynamic and he's a complex system with many parts and many interacting parts, and he has many different natures. He can be at the same time, he can at the same time he can possess two different, very different personalities. So you cannot just, even if you say that you are this, you are INTP, you are INFP, you are INTJ, these things are pretty much meaningless to me. I don't believe it. But yeah, if you would like to know what is my personality type, according to online quizzes, I just took some quizzes because I was interested in MBTI at one point of time. But today I'm not interested because see, it's not possible to describe a person like this. A person is a hugely complex and sophisticated system. But according to those quizzes, I'm an INTP. But and yeah, I can somewhat relate with being an INTP. But so if you ask me, that's my answer to the question. But at the same time, I don't believe in this MBTI or any kind of personality test. So I don't think that's a good way to judge humans. Last but not the least, what do I do in my free time? Okay, so what do I do in my free time? Free time means if you say the time which in which I'm not doing my academics, in those times I watch wildlife videos. I love to watch wildlife videos, lions, tigers, and I really love watching wildlife videos. I love listening to music, and I one important thing I do in my free time is trying out quizzes, Harry Potter quizzes. So you can find I've been a Harry Potter fan, so I'm a diehard fan of Harry Potter, and you can see on my blog, you can see I wrote a blog post how Harry Potter helped me accept the hardest truth of life. So you can check it out if you're interested. This blog, how Harry Potter helped me accept the hardest truth of life. So I love reading about Harry Potter. Reading the books, or it's a Harry Potter, Sherlock Holmes. These things, they have impacted me greatly. Mainly Harry Potter, I would say. So that's what I do pretty much when I'm free. And so that, I think all the questions have been answered now. So I'll be sharing the links to these videos to those persons individually who asked me the questions. And if you just happen to watch this video on YouTube, if you just happen to find this on YouTube, just maybe don't watch it because it will just be a waste of time. Or if you are interested, you can watch. So that's your wish. So that's all, guys. I wanted to say thank you very much.